I'm not one of those people who believes in ghosts. I've traveled solo to more than 20 countries, slept in jungle huts, bus stops, and even an abandoned train once in Croatia. But what happened to me in that forgotten village, where the sun never really rises and the people don't blink, I can't explain, and I can't forget. It started with a detour. I was backpacking through Eastern Europe, taking cheap buses wherever they led. One night, the bus broke down in the middle of nowhere. Forest all around, no towns nearby, no signal. The driver spoke in broken English and waved toward a dirt path. There, village. Maybe sleep. It wasn't on Google Maps. It wasn't on any map. But I was tired, cold, and curious. I walked for about 40 minutes through the woods before the trees opened up, and I saw it. A tiny village of crumbling stone houses, thatched roofs, and a fog that never lifted. There was no sound, no wind, just silence so heavy it made my ears ring. A woman stood near a well, pale skin, dull eyes. She didn't smile when I greeted her, just nodded slowly and pointed to a cottage at the edge of the village. That's where I stayed. The inside was rustic but clean. A fire was already lit. The bed looked ancient but warm. There was no electricity, no phone signal. But at that moment, I felt oddly calm, like I was meant to be there. That night, I heard whispers. At first, I thought they came from outside, just villagers talking late. But when I looked through the window, I saw them, the villagers, all of them, standing perfectly still, just staring at my window. There were at least 30 of them, men, women, even children. Silent, eyes wide open, faces blank, not moving, not blinking. I stayed frozen for hours until the sky began to change, but it didn't brighten like normal sunrise. Instead, the darkness just faded into a gray fog, and the villagers were gone. I should have left right then, but something kept me there. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was whatever I heard whispering from the fireplace that night in a language I couldn't understand, but somehow still felt directed at me. The next day, I tried asking questions. What's this village called? Do you have a phone I can use? How far is the next town? But they wouldn't answer. They just stared, all of them, always watching me from windows, from behind trees, from across fields. I wasn't allowed to leave either. Every path I took led me back to the same village square. I marked trees, broke branches, but the forest shifted. Time stopped making sense. Days felt like hours. Nights felt eternal. On the fifth night, I woke up outside. Not in my bed, not in the house. I was lying on the village altar. Yes, there's an altar in the center of the village, surrounded by 7 stones carved with strange symbols. And all the villagers were there again, this time closer, whispering in unison. Their mouths moved, but no sound came out. Yet I heard them, in my head. The outsider completes the circle. Suddenly, the woman from the well stepped forward. She held something in her hand, a mirror. She raised it in front of me, and I swear on everything I love, I had no reflection. That was the last thing I remember before blacking out. When I woke up, I was in the forest, the real one. A hiker found me days later, dehydrated, babbling about people without shadows. I spent 3 weeks in a hospital. No one believed me. They said it was a breakdown, a dream, a reaction to isolation. But last week, I received a letter. No stamp, no return address, just old paper and faded ink. Inside it read, "The circle is incomplete. You left too soon. We're waiting." And attached to the note was a photo of the village altar, with someone lying on it. Me. I haven't slept since, and every time I look into a mirror, I see someone standing behind me, staring, not blinking. See you. I tried to burn the letter. I threw it in the fireplace, watched the paper curl into black ash. But the next morning, it was back. Same envelope, same faded ink, sitting on my pillow. Every night since I came back from that village, something's been wrong. I hear footsteps when I'm alone, whispers through the vent, and the smell of wood smoke, just like the fire in that cottage, drifts into my apartment even though I don't have a fireplace. I started covering the mirrors in my home, all of them, because every time I looked, I saw him, not the villagers. Him, the one who looked just like me, but older, hungrier. As if something stayed behind in that village, and something else came back wearing my skin. I visited doctors, psychiatrists. No one believed me. But then, something happened that I can't explain away. I got a call, blocked number, middle of the night, a woman's voice, raspy, slow, whispered in a language I didn't understand. But then she said one sentence in English. "The circle is open. You still belong to us." I haven't told anyone this, but my reflection sometimes moves before I do. It smiles on its own. Sometimes, it doesn't show up at all. And just yesterday, I saw something in the background of a selfie my friend took of me. A row of people, standing in the woods behind me, staring, their eyes dull, their faces blank. Just like them. Just like the villagers. I went back to the bus company. I begged them to tell me where that driver dropped me off. They said no such bus ever took that route. No such village exists. No one even remembers a breakdown that night. But I do, and so does the village. It wants me back. And I think it's getting closer, because this morning I woke up to dirt on my floor. Muddy footprints, small ones, leading from the front door to the edge of my bed, and outside my apartment window was the well, the same well from the village, just standing there in the middle of the parking lot. I haven't slept since, and every time I look into a mirror, I see someone standing behind me, staring, not blinking. You've been listening to another chilling tale from Thread Not Found. If you're brave enough for more nightmares, like, comment, and subscribe before the circle finds you.